Most players choose bats that are too heavy and too long for them. For best results, you should pick a bat that you can control and not one that controls you. A lightweight bat allows you to better meet your hitting expectations. The bat should meet the required size standards for your league. The length of your bat depends on your size and strength. But remember, the longer the bat, the heavier the bat. And the heavier the bat, the slower your swing. A good rule of thumb for bat selection is to pick a bat one size smaller than the one you think you'll need.
Use the plate to set your position in the box, not the edges of the box. The best starting position is with the back foot toward the back of the box, and the front foot somewhere between the front edge and the midpoint of the plate. Your toes should be about 1 3/4 shoe lengths away from the edge of the plate. Position your back foot in the box first, then your front foot. Remember, your feet are slightly more than shoulder width apart. Your knees are bent, and your toes point toward the opposite batter's box. You want your bat to lay where your fingers meet the palm of your hand. This grip creates a natural break in the wrist, and this is the strongest part of your hand. Make sure your grip is relaxed and that the first knuckles of both hands are lined up.
The three crucial elements of hitting are relaxation, balance, and control. This is especially true as you assume the proper stance and ready position. Remember, power equals speed and strength, but you can't use these skill components if you're not relaxed.
Make sure your knees stay inside your feet. Your shoulders and hips remain level, and your hips stay under your shoulders. Your weight is on the balls of the feet, and you are leaning slightly over the plate. Keep everything loose and relaxed. The front side of your body, the side closest to the pitcher, provides the control in your hitting. The back side of your body, the side farthest from the pitcher, provides the power in your hitting. Hands are shoulder high and slightly at the back edge of the back shoulder. The barrel of the bat should be at a slight angle to the shoulder and back toward the catcher. You should hold the bat loosely. Your lead arm is bent at the elbow and pointing down. Back arm is at a 45-degree angle pointing down and slightly away from the body. Your eyes are level, looking at the pitcher. The stride readies you for your swing, establishes rhythm, momentum, and balance to prepare your attack to the ball. It should be a short, soft stride, straight ahead toward the pitcher. As the pitcher moves into the windup, shift your weight toward your back foot. The stride occurs the moment the pitcher releases the ball. As you stride, bring your bat back and up slightly. Your front foot moves toward the pitcher and the heel is lifted for a split second. As soon as you take your stride, plant it for the swing. The ball travels through 3 zones: the release zone, the first 30 feet from the mound, the pitch recognition zone, the next 20 feet from the mound, and the contact zone, the last 8 to 10 feet before home plate. Track the ball through all 3 zones and watch the ball through the contact point.
Remember that during the stride, everything must be balanced and controlled. In fact, the stride is the first control action in your swing because you're working with the front of the body, the control side.
When you decide to swing, turn your back hip to the ball by pivoting your back foot to face the ball. Your body weight transfers into, not onto, the front leg. Your back leg forms an L on the completion of your swing. This is called the power L. Initiate the attack through the ball with your hands, not your arms and shoulders. The hands pull downward, forward, outward in one gliding motion. The top hand is the power hand. It throws the barrel of the bat through the ball, but it cannot be effective if the lead arm is not controlled. The bottom hand provides control and direction. It pulls the knob of the bat to the ball in a gliding action. As you begin your swing, keep your hands and wrists relaxed. They are your timing mechanisms, timing the pitch rather than the pitcher. On contact with the ball, the action of the bat is almost like a buggy whip action, with a snapping of the wrists. This produces a more efficient and productive swing. The shoulders are a big part of your power. They are most supportive when they are level and still. In fact, the less the shoulders draw attention to themselves, the better the swing will be. Track the ball with your eyes throughout its approach to the plate. You should make every attempt to see the ball hit the bat. Your head moves only as you follow through the completion of the swing. Stay on the same level throughout the swing. Your head, back shoulder, back hip, and back knee are in line. There are two phases of extension. One, to the ball, during which the lead arm is extended. Two, through the ball, during which the back arm extends. As you make contact, your arms will form a V, and they almost wrap around you as you complete your swing.
It's important for hitters to understand that the adjustment to the pitch is made with the hands. Remember, it is initiated with good body control and balance.
Each player has his own strike zone. Your strike zone extends from your armpits to your knees and the 17 inches across the plate. You must learn to adjust to all the pitches that fall within this area. If the pitch comes across the middle of the plate, attack the ball with good fundamental mechanics. The timing of your attack will change if a pitch comes across the outside of the plate. For an outside pitch, wait a split second longer than you normally would to attack the ball, allowing the hands to initiate the attack. The farther the pitch is from your body, the later you must make contact with the ball. The timing of your attack also changes if a pitch comes across the inside of the plate. For an inside pitch, you must attack the ball sooner, once again letting the hands initiate the attack. The closer the pitch is to your body, the sooner you must make contact with the ball. Low pitches are likely to result in a grounder or low line drive. Waist-high pitches usually are line drives. Most of the time, high pitches will be fly balls or pop-ups.
The concept of pitch recognition is important when learning how to adjust to the different speeds of pitches. Pitch recognition develops from live batting practice as you learn to watch the pitch from the release point to the contact point. Learning to pick up the spin or rotation of the ball is key here.
When you are adjusting to the speed of a pitch, it is important that you take your stride at the release point of the pitch. Your body is then prepared to hit the fastest pitch that is offered to you, and you are planted in a firm attack position so that you can react to a pitch that is off speed.
Taking a pitch refers to not swinging at a pitch that falls outside your strike zone. In order to develop the discipline and patience required to take a pitch, you must know your own strike zone. This includes knowing your weak areas as well as your strong areas.
When you take a pitch, stay in the launch position and watch the pitch into the catcher's mitt. Your preparation to hit the ball occurs before you get to the batter's box. You must be relaxed before you hit the ball. If you feel comfortable with your bat, you'll be a more confident hitter.
You must look at every pitch as a new challenge. Take each swing, each time at bat, and each game one at a time. And remember that confidence is essential when you're at bat. You must feel as if you can hit any pitch. To focus and stay on the ball, remember the principle MVP. Stay on the ball mentally, visually, and physically.
To mentally focus on the ball, paint a picture in your mind of what you want to accomplish. Visually, start with a broad focus of the pitcher. As he releases the ball, narrow your focus to the ball. Now, track the ball throughout its entire path to the contact zone. After you stride, to physically stay on the ball, keep the front side of your body still as long as possible on the initial attack. Attempt to keep head, shoulders, and hips level throughout the swing.
Each time you're at bat, you must focus on the good things that you've done at the plate. Each time at bat is a time to prove and reprove yourself. You must know your capabilities, your strengths as well as your weaknesses in hitting. You must set goals for yourself, goals that are attainable for you, and be prepared to adjust these goals as the situation changes. You also must challenge yourself as you become more experienced in hitting. Be confident in your strong areas and work to improve your weak areas.
Good hitters should be able to do any one of three things whenever they're at bat. They should be able to get on base, get runners over to the next base, and get runners in to home plate.
What is stepping in the bucket?
Well, it's your stride is out towards the foul lines, outside the foul line. And instead of stepping straight at the pitcher, they'll step out, and that's a common thing. And of course, good pitchers with good control, will pitch you outside, and you'll have a lot of trouble hitting that pitch. There's ways of teaching how to break that, and one of the things that we teach, that I believe in, is to make a little inward turn with your shoulders, so that turns you in, and your first move will be here to hit the ball rather than be here set like this, and your first move is you're opening up and stepping in the bucket.
Do you position yourself a certain way to stop yourself from stepping in the bucket?
Well, no, really you're starting square, and first movement, you have to move. It's so difficult for a hitter to be standing there still. The pitcher's winding up, and then he throws. You have to be making some move. You can't be standing there without making any kind of preparatory move. And probably the best thing to do, and the most successful thing, is to turn your left shoulder, if you're a right-handed hitter, in towards the catcher to bring it back like that. Then you're there. But you need some kind of movement before you hit.
How do you get out of the way of a badly pitched ball?
The first instinct they have when a ball is thrown at them is to step back, and a lot of times they step back into the baseball, and that's when players can get hurt. But the thing that we teach is how to protect themselves, that by using plastic wiffle balls or tennis balls, and you throw it at them and you teach them to turn in towards home plate. And that way, if they do get hurt when they turn in, it'll be in the back of their head or the helmet in the back, but you teach them to turn in and dive over the plate, drop their bat and fall down. And that will show them that they can't get hurt. And most of the times they can get away from it real quick if they know what to do, and it gets to be instinct. And they practice that. The father, the coaches can get the tennis balls or the wiffle balls, throw it at them, teach them to make that inward turn when it's thrown at them and dive over the plate. It's a good safety thing, and it's a thing I think can help youngsters to lose the fear of being hit by a ball and enjoy baseball a lot better.
What can a young player do about the bat stinging his hands when the ball is hit?
Well, a lot of times, and of course you have to understand that they're using the metal bat. You'd say, well, they're not hitting the ball in the sweet part of the bat. And there is a sweet part of the bat, and it's an area about like this. And if you hit the ball above that, you'll get that ring in your hands, and of course if you hit it down on your hands, it's going to sting there too. And that's the thing you try to teach them, to get the bat out front so that you have momentum coming and you have power. If you catch the ball back here, I've seen it sometimes where bats actually go back in a swing because they haven't really generated any bat speed, and the ball almost takes the bat back. And you get a pretty good sting there.
So just general batting technique will help.
When they learn a little bit more about hitting and how to get the head of the bat out there, and that there is a sweet part of the bat, and that's where you want to hit the ball, just not swing the bat, that'll be eliminated. And of course on those cold days it's going to hurt no matter what.
If you're hitting the ball cleanly but not getting any base hits, is that just something you have to put up with?
If you're hitting the ball well, and you're hitting line drives at the outfielders and hitting real hard ground balls, those things, balls will go through. But you're doing it right. You're hitting the ball hard, you're making good contact, and that's all you can ask for. There's no way of saying, well, I will hit the ball a little bit further to the left 3 or 4 feet and I'll get those base hits, or I'll make the line drive sink them more. You don't do things like that. You just keep making good contact and it'll all work out.
What advice can you give to a player who's swinging at balls outside his strike zone?
That's a discipline type of thing. He's got to learn more discipline. He's got to try and maybe go out there and stand up there when a pitcher is warming up and you have a catcher there, and let him stand there. Don't swing at the ball. But when the pitcher throws the ball, you call, that's a ball. And then the catcher will say, no, that was a strike. So that's a good pitch. That's a pitch I wouldn't have swung, I should have. And then another time he'll go strike, and the catcher will say, no, that was outside. And they say, well, I would have swung at that. And so they get to know where the strike zone is, and that's important. And that's a good drill for hitters to learn. It's almost like umpiring from the batter's position.
What can a batter do to avoid consistently popping up?
That's a problem. The batter keeps popping the ball up. Usually what happens is on the swing, they dip their back shoulder. And when they dip that back shoulder, your body goes up and your bat goes down and you're swinging upward. And in most cases, that's what it is if it's a constant thing. You know, every once in a while, you're going to swing under a ball and you're going to get a pop-up. But if it's a constant thing, usually means that the hitter is dropping his back shoulder. You have him think on his left shoulder to keep it down, to sort of, when I swing, I'm going to drop my left shoulder down a little bit. For a right-handed batter, that'll probably, when you say down, it'll probably keep you level. And that's what you're looking for.
What can you do if you consistently swing late against a fastball?
I think strength is important. You got to get stronger and you got to develop your bat speed. It's a good thing of getting a little heavier bat and practicing your swings. That's very important.
You mean practice your swing with a heavier bat than you would use normally in a game?
Right. to practice with a heavier bat, and also maybe choke up on the bat a little bit where you have better balance. You're getting closer to the center of the bat, a little bit better balance. Maybe you choke up that far, maybe further. I've seen hitters get a little bit under the label on a bat. That's how far they go up, but they have good bat balance. You lose some power, but you do make contact.
Are there bad habits that hitters can fall into?
There's so many bad habits. Taking their eyes off the ball, moving their head, dropping their hands down, and then having to pick them up to make contact, standing too far away from the plate, standing too close. All those things they've got to find out and adjust. It's a constant adjusting.
How can you break the bad habits?
Well, if you see them doing something wrong and they're having a difficulty with some phase of the hitting, and you might suggest that they change it, get back to what we say the basic fundamentals of hitting. Not a real wide stance, not a short stance, but a stance that you don't have to be picking your foot up or moving your body so that your eyes move when you stride. A lot of hitters will stride, and when they stride so such a large stride that their head drops, their eyes drop, and it's hard to see the ball. So you don't want to get into a habit like that.
Is there a problem, especially with youngsters, trying to swing the bat only with their arms?
Yeah, I think so. The timing, has to be just right. And that, I think they have a lot of time, and they break down on their swing. They're starting to swing, and then they see the ball, and they try to rush it up. Or some of them I've seen even try to slow their bat down when they get out front. And those are the things that, are very frustrating for a youngster.
Back arm is at a 45-degree angle pointing down and slightly away from the body.
Hits the top of the fifth with one out and Stewart at first base. Johnson's at the belt, and the two-strike pitch to Green. The runner stealing, a swing and a foul tip into the catcher's mitt. But there's no throw. Is it a stolen base? What's the call? You're right. A foul tip is a batted ball that goes directly from the bat to the catcher's hands or mitt and is legally caught. A foul tip is a strike and a live ball. Therefore, runners can advance. Don Norris is a batter here in the third. Brown's on first. The first pitch swung on and hit hard down the third base foul line. The ball hits the bag and bounces high toward the grandstand and into the seats. Brown scores and Norris is at third. What's the call? Yes, that is right. A fair ball is always called if a batted ball touches first, second, or third base. Since the ball went over the fence, it's a ground rule double. Brown returns to third base, and Norris has to go back to second. The Bulls have something going. They have Flynn at first and Ryan at second base. Nobody out. Here's a pitch to Clark. There's a line drive hit to left. Ryan round third, heading for home. Here's a throw. It's going to be close. The catcher has the ball in his bare hand, lunges back at the plate, and tags a runner with his mitt. What's the call? Yes, that's right. A tag is the act of a fielder touching a runner with the ball or with a hand or glove that is holding the ball securely and firmly. In this case, the runner is safe at home.
A ball that is hit directly at a fielder, usually with great velocity. Right at him, in other words.